Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing great. So this is what we did in the morning. If you guys want around, but I was trying to render this out, but I think it was taking a bit long to render out. So I'll give it a try later. So it's what we did in the morning time. So today we're just going to create a parking lot and see how things go. How are you guys doing? Let me first come for a second here. Okay, yeah, so today we're trying to do a parking lot. I don't really have a lot of reference images. Let me get some from the internet, just so we have something for you to look at here. And go to ArtStation and look at some parking lot. Is this live? Yes, Brannan, it is live. So let's look at some parking lots. Just for inspiration. How are you, mate? I'm great. You're saying, how are you doing? How's everyone? Just trying to see some parking lots we can copy. Anyway, this looks good. It's a good reference, good starting point. Anyway, I have other images on my second screen, so if you're not seeing anything, that's what I'm going to be using. Just going to set up my camera really quickly here. Let me see, set up my camera. I guess I can also turn on shortcuts for you guys. Okay. So let's do this a little bit faster and see. I'm just going to create a starting position, a starting point, and yeah, this is our floor. This is our ceiling. Let me see. Let me just get a quick measurement of this. So this is quite large. I'm just going to make this a bit thin, smaller. I'm going to make a smaller scene instead of making it too large. because then if you make your scene too large, then you're going to incur some computation costs if you're doing volumetrics and other things like that. So this is 80 meters. I guess I can make it even shorter, something like this. Let me change my camera aspect ratio to be a bit, sorry, my camera focal length to be a bit wider. Go into rendered mode. So this is our starting point. I think I'm going to make this. Let's see. We can have this. We can make it somewhere. So this is going to be like a multi-level parking lot. Quick question: how to measure stuff like you did? So there is a measure tool here. I just click it and just drag from one point to another, and it will measure the distance for you. So this is going to be our kind of multi-flow. Then I can grab this. Let me add in some pillars, cylindrical pillars like this. I'm trying to block out the scene to see what is going to work best. So we're still in the designing phase here. That's why you see I'm not explaining too much here. So, but I think most of the things I'm doing here are self-explanatory, don't really require a lot of explaining. So something like this. Just simply blocking out the scene for now. I think this is going to be our parking lot. And just make sure I'm naming this, saving this parking lot. Again, we're still on the blocking phase. So I want cars to be able to come off this part here. So I think I can create a simple road from this. So it would be I think it would just extend down a bit just to make the scene more interesting. Yes, have this as a separate object. So this is going to be our road. I think we can start already to we can start working on some more detailing. So I want the roof to be a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do, I think I can use the asset library. I have some assets that I already created that I can use here, so that we can speed up the process a little bit. I think if I go to my building parts, I have some nice details that we can use here. Or instead, let me just create a few new ones. I'm just going to start with plain like this. I want to kind of create some details for the ceiling, like some designs. I'm going to add a bevel modifier to this, just to round off the corners a bit, auto smooth, and then use hardened normals. And I can also use an array. So the ceiling is not too plain. This is going to be our ceiling design. Maybe use another array. So we would have something like this. It doesn't have to go all the way to that. So this is going to be our ceiling. Now we just have to set up some materials for this. I'll just use my asset library to get some materials already created. I need some kind of, let me see, actually let me just expand this. Just use this surface here. For the material, apply the scale and scale this material a bit up. Can have some ambient occlusion, maybe increase the distance and then the factor a bit. These can have the same material, the walls, these are pillars here. Maybe play with the roughness a bit, or break up the roughness a little bit. Same with the ground. We can start with a base material like this. You can see how quickly our parking lot is coming up. It's coming. I think we need to start adding in some lights. And I have some pipes here that I can use in some areas. For example, I can add this pipe around here and see how it would work out. It's always nice to have some pre-made assets that you can reuse in your projects like this. So you don't always have to start from scratch. Why your volumes look great, but mine suck. You can post what you have done in Discord server, and I can have a look at it, and maybe we can try to see why yours looks like that. Let's see. I want these pipes. I want to have some pipes. Maybe they should just go perpendicular or towards away from the camera run like that. I think I can even use an array for these. So we can have some running pipes. Can even duplicate these like that. Maybe make this a little bit white like that. Let's add in some volumetrics. So one key thing to make your volumetrics look a bit big, good, and high res. Don't make the volume too big. Just use where it's necessary, so that you get more resolution from it. So for example, I'm just going to have it around this size. And just use a principal shader, principal volume. And let me just bring down this light a bit, the density a bit down. This has to be in the volume, something like that. And another thing you can do, and let me first make sure that easily see what's going on here. Another thing you can do is that you can measure the distance of your scene from the camera. So ours is going to be around 76 meters. So if we go to our volume settings, hey, thank you David Roldan, if you're here, for becoming Patreon. Really appreciate it. So we can go to the volumetric settings, and you can see we have a start and end setting here. So our scene is about 76 meters, so we don't need all the 100, so we can use 76, and now we can set our clipping to be at maybe 10, because it's actually, yeah, 10 is good. And let's start adding in some nice lights for our scene. Let me first get rid of this line here. So I'm going to I have this thing here. I think I can use it, this guardrail, as a kind of a way to direct traffic. So can just also use an array for this as well. And maybe make it a little bit. I have another question. Go on, you can ask. You can ask. I'm here to answer. Now these look a bit too thick for my liking, so I'm just going to shrink them down using the Alt S key to make them a little bit thin. I think I can just do this alone. Alt S. So something like that. Grab this, Alt S, maybe this is around there. I'm also going to rotate this, Shift D, rotate, duplicate this, rotate Y 90 degrees. Just to add in some small details. Something like that, and duplicate it this further. We can just use the array, starting from there. I have another question. Is there any way to save camera with all the settings for later use, like import models? The camera, you can save your old project. You can just copy the project from a different. I can copy the camera from a different project already that you have set up the camera, but again that is quite a difficult process to do. But if you have if you're using the Blender asset browser, I don't know if it's already available, but you can. I think it can allow you to do that, or you can use my add-on. It can also do the same thing as you're seeing what I'm doing here. I'm just using the same assets that are created with different settings, different materials, and are reusing them here. So that can also work. Just going to reuse this here, rotate it 90 degrees, rotate this 180 degrees. Just adding in some simple things like this can make your scene kind of pop. So what we seem to be lacking is some detail for some detailed lighting. So let's work on that. I need to get some light materials. The blue chair that I was talking about earlier is here. Oh, you mean this here? Actually, let me also add it in here. Why not? If you mean this, yeah, I think it's the same chair, except that this one is broken. So I think, so if you don't know what he's talking about, so we created the post-apocalypse. We finished the post-apocalypse as seen yesterday, and yeah, and I think so they're the same chairs, I think, because this one just has a broken leg. Let me show you the one we created. I put that in the furniture set under collections, furniture. So yeah, this is the one we created previously, but yeah, it's the same chair, I think. Yep. Imperial, can you show really quick the lighting you are using, please? I actually haven't set up any real lighting. I just have a point light here, just for a quick lighting. And I think we can start working on the actual lighting, by the way. So let's just create a simple cube here, and it's going to be the emitter of the light. And I just so it looks a little bit better. What I can do is just detail it a little bit. First apply the scale and just round off these edges a bit using Ctrl B, like so. Bring this down. So this is going to be our source of light, and just so it looks more detailed than this, I'm just going to duplicate it twice. So I have something like this, and I can use an emitter material, shader emission, like this, give it a very emissive material, and turn on bloom. Maybe that's too much, something like 10. Give it a nice, I don't know, bluish color. But because we're using Eevee, and mesh lighting is not supported in Eevee, what I can do is, let me first turn off the shadows here. What I can do is add an area light here, to take on the same shape as this. So I can use a rectangle and just give it a very powerful light amount. So let's say something like 5,000, like that. Somewhere like that. And I can duplicate this a few times. So we can, let's see where this is. You can duplicate this a few times. Have one around there. Or maybe we can even make this a bit wider. This. Love your videos. Any plans on making an anime style environment? I haven't experimented with the anime style, but yeah, I think I can give it a try after experiment with it a few times. So this is what we have so far. duplicate another one there. So our volume seems to be too high. Our volumetrics are too much. So I'm just going to reduce maybe the density just a bit. And these lights can be a little bit also dim. 1000. So that is not too much. And the other thing we can do here is just select this, add a loop here, so that I want the bottom half to have a separate material. So I'll just give it a different material, concrete, assign. And you can see what we have already. Just make this I think let's try. I think a bluish color like that would be amazing. Yeah, so if you don't know about the deco designer, it's an add-on I just created to help design decos, and I think it would really be useful here. So I'm going to design something, a quick deco that I could use here. So let's do that. We're going to start with that later. So actually want to go to design deco. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Cameron at Tipo. Thank you. So let's add, let's do maybe access level 5. Let's do a 5 here. Maybe have this as level. And now we can play with different fonts if we want. Let me go to the fonts. Let's go to the fonts. Let me see if I can get a better font. Okay, that's too fast and furious. Like, okay, yeah, something like this. Contacts. Maybe this is level 5. I just duplicate this. Parking. Thank you, Gautam, for subscribing. And I think what we can do, I don't know. I'm trying to see what else we can add in here to make this look more. Let me see. What else can we add in here? I can add in these things. Not sure. These here. They always look nice in parking lots. So I think this is a good design. Maybe we can even add an exit sign somewhere, but let's just go with this for now. And if I want to use this later, let me first save. I can just save this as a deco. Let me go do a quick render of this. I'm just going to first reset everything here. Render this and save it as a deco. And we just create a new library. I'll call this in my libraries. I'm going my resources, custom decos, and I create a new library. Libraries. 1 parking lot. Okay. And so I want to save this as an image so that I can apply it to my. Is the asset library built in? No, this is just my add-on. Which add-on is this? This is the texture deco designer. Let me just throw you a link if you want to check it out. So all the add-ons I've created and use in my live streams, you can buy them, you can get them from that. So I just want to design this, maybe change the color, some of these colors. Let's see, if I change this to, okay, I want this to be yellow, but this can be maybe red, and maybe this can be, yeah, let's try this, going with this. So I want to save this as an image. I also want it to have an alpha channel, so I'll turn on transparency so that we have something like this. The dimensions are good. I can maybe, yeah, I think the dimensions are good. So I'm just going to save this to my resources, custom decos. I'll call this level 5. Level 5. And now I can have this in a new collection called 5, and I can get rid of that for now. So after doing that, I can just go back. I want to place this around here. So I'm just going to use my quick decos add-on, access my, where do we save this? We save this in resources, custom decos, level 5. Just going to add a deco to scene. So here we have it, and I want it to wrap onto the surface. So I'm going to use the shrink wrap modifier to wrap this onto the surface like that. Just offset this so that it comes off out a little bit like that. Something like that. We seem to have, okay, yeah, I think just need to turn off the film transparency here. So this is what we have, and I think I just need to cut off parts of this so that yeah, so this is level 5. I think we might use a better font. No problem, man. Zeus, you're welcome. Thanks too. Think I'm not sure. How does that look? Maybe we can get a better font here. So I can just go back to what I made here and make a few changes to this. So let's get a better font that is more readable and more pronounced. Yeah, I think this level 5 parking. Let me see. So level 5 parking, and I want to render this again, so I'll go back to the deco designer and render. I'm just going to reset my camera just a bit. So something like that. Is this readable? I think the font is still not readable, so make the red thing white. Okay, so you mean this here to be white? It's white in most countries. Okay, so I want this white like that. What else could be white? Let me see if we change this font to something like that. Maybe let's also try to make this white as well. Level 5 parking, I think that's good. We can give this a quick render. Make sure we have transparency. Save, and I can save this as, yes. And now I can get rid of this camera, go back. 5 is still not readable. I think now it's readable, a bit readable, because let's try. Now I can switch this again, go back to decos, and I can change image here. to the one we have just created. So it was in under resources, custom decos. This, has it changed? Actually, I don't think I've changed this. Oh, I need to refresh this image because I overwrote the image. So I just have to get to the image editor. This is the image. Not actually, this is not it. It's supposed to be this here. Reload, and yeah, we have that. Do you think it's still unreadable? I think I can make it a bit larger. How about that? Maybe offset what? Offset. Where's my offset? Under the shrink wrap, let me try offsetting this just a bit. I can cut off these extra edge loops. Kind of looks like a B from a distance. Okay, so we need a better font, you're saying. So let's go back here to the design. Fetch a better font. I don't know. This, there's no way you can mistake this for anything else. This is a perfect 5. So let's re-render this. Deco design, render. Again, I have to reset my camera. Render, save. Let's just save it as the same name as the other one. So there is any, so is there any way to wrap the image without the add-on? Yes, you can use the shrink wrap modifier, but you'd have to play with a lot of settings to get it to work right. That's why I choose to use the add-on. I just need to reload this image. Okay, so I think that's now much readable. Maybe just drag it a little bit down here. Level 5 parking. Get rid of this. Come back to this. Now we need a light, a light here, around here. So I'm just going to duplicate this so that our text is much readable. Yeah, so something like that. Maybe we can bring this up. So one thing you see that I want this to be a bit old. So in my quick deco, I'm just going to use the custom alpha. Yes. To kind of make it a bit old, to make that a little bit old. Can get some decos, some rough textures to kind of subtract away from that deco so that it looks a bit older. You can see it looks, I want it to be like a little bit faded, something like that. Let's bring back our transparency. And the flow looks too plain for my liking, so I'm going to go to the asset library and look for some nice materials to use for the ground. Walls. Let me see if I go to my city park. This is what we have. Let's try this material and see. Okay, that is not too bad. Oh, I think that's not too much. I'm also going to add a wall around here. Perfect now. Yeah, thank you. think, yeah, I think this is much readable. I want to have a wall around here. Hello Yazin, hello Walker, how are you doing? I want a wall here, and I want it to be slightly visible from this side, from this angle around there. And I think we can use an extra light on the second level, so I'm just going to duplicate that. Just grab this, have it under here. I think I need to extend the volumes down a bit. Yeah, so we have some extra detail under there. I'm doing great, man. Doing great. And today let's work with a very wide aspect ratio. Let's bring this back, make this a little bit wider. Just pull this back a bit. And we can also reuse this deco here. So I'm just going to drag, copy it, paste it here, and rotate it 90 degrees like that. And this time, since this is a flat surface, we don't really need, if I go to the deco design, we don't really need the shrink wrap. So I can go to the shrink wrap and remove the modifiers there, remove that modifier, and you can have this. And I think I can give this wall a different material as well. Material, just give it a wall material like this. Shakil Ahmed, him, next time you should do a Forgive Nacho Village, a scene. That's I think we could do that. Yes. Okay, we have this wall, but the texture is too small. Let's bring this up a bit. And, the color should also be white. Try something medieval combined with science, with sci-fi. That's quite an interesting idea, I think. Yeah, I think we can do something. Sci-fi with medieval, is that something that I can look at? Sci-fi. Because that's quite an interesting medieval. Sci-fi medieval. I want to see something. Thank you for subscribing, Nikos. Really appreciate it. Hey bro, can you make City Street in the next live stream? City Street. Yeah, I think we can. I think I've made a few live streams about city streets. So this would be medieval sci-fi. Interesting. But I think there's a lot of characters in here, and I don't do character modeling a lot. Okay, that's interesting. So if you want to see street scenes, I think I've done plenty of those. You can see. Let me see. I've done a few of those. There is this. There is this. There is this. Thank you, P Ghost. Thank you. Really appreciate it. whoever just bought the quick decos, the texture deco designer, thank you, really appreciate it. If you are having any issues, you can contact me. I'll try to help you. If you get any issues, I don't expect you to get any, but if there is, let me know. I'll be here. Let's go to the quick deco designer. I just want to make this less contrasted, maybe with I think we can make this texture look a little bit better. Maybe try a different one, different material. Let me get this like a weight surface. I just have to play with the scale. Yeah, so we can also create more decos. Let me first play with this texture and see if we can get something that looks much better. I think this gives us a better material. You can put some arrows on the floor. Okay, so let's design some arrows. Arrows. Let me go to the designer. I think I have some custom arrows. Just have to first switch to built-in library. Some arrows, we can start. You can go with this. And just point it up like this, and maybe also add a text below it saying exit, something like that. Maybe another one saying slow down, I don't know, slow exit, or so what color should it be, white or yellow? I think they're usually white. So let's go to the quick materials, make sure this is set to white. Let me see if there is anything we can add in here. Let's try putting this this. Actually, I'm not going to end up making signs that don't really make any sense, but just trying to make things look good. So let's give this a quick render. Our exit sign. Let's make sure that show transparency is on. See, this makes it very easy to kind of design things. So this is going to be that arrow, so render, and I'll save this, call it exit. Then I just have to come in, let me get rid of this camera, come back to this, so we can come back here into the quick deco designer and create a new deco. This time we're going to use the exit one, add to scene. I think, yeah, the white version would have been better. Yeah, it's better. If you don't want it to be a simple plane like this, you can just use the deco designer, and in your material setup you can just use the design, use deco, and import it as a texture inside your material. So I can just do this, and now it should be imported into the texture as a deco. I think this surface is not UV unwrapped, so I'm going to UV unwrap it. Oh, I think I chose the wrong texture. Let me select it. Just switch. Let me first link the library we are using. So we are using the resources, custom decos. So I need the exit, and I want to import it as a texture. So it has been imported here, and you can see it's a bit too large. So there are a few ways to control this. I can add, say, something like an empty, and I can use the texture coordinates of that. So Control T to get the texture coordinates. Just set this to object and select the empty, which is at my cursor. So this, and now when I move this, you can see I can also easily move the exit sign, but it's repeated, so I can change from repeat to clip, and now I can scale this up like so, and I don't know, rotate this like that, maybe even scale it on the other side. I don't know, scale it to be there. So now I can blend it, easily blend it with the rest of the surface like that, if I don't want to just use a simple plane, which is a faster way, but sometimes you want the option to just have this as a material directly, like that. Just bring this, turn on screen space reflections, volumetric shadows. I think I can make these lights a little bit brighter. Maybe something like that. This also needs to have the same material as this. And maybe I can also grab this here. And these should have, these lights should have some contact shadows. I think I can grab this. This will so that we have something in the bank as well. Let's see. It's going to extend this. You can put, let's see what else can I do here. I think I can also just grab this, Shift D, and have it onto the other surface, but I need to change. Let me see, where is this? I need to change the target for the shrink wrap to be this surface. And I think you might also need a few of these under here. Just be a little bit more detailed. And we can add in more details. I'm just going to get some assets for my library. I have pipes, lots of pipes. Can add it to the wall or somewhere. Just need an array. Have wires. So it's nice to just reuse assets that you have already spent time working on. So you can see how the wires fit in. A car may be policed to have red and blue lights reaching this level parking. Looking for dealers. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have any cars. So, yeah. Actually, I think there is a nice car that you can get from free 3D models. There's a nice car that is very simple and it's free, so we can use it here quite easily. If I can get it. Most of these are free, but they're heavy. There is one that is very, very light. Let me see. Free car. Let me type in free car. Free car. It uses a simple car projection, image projection. A van would be great. A van. Let's see. Let's see what we can get here. Okay. I can't seem to find the one I'm looking for. Blender has free cars inside software itself on Blender Market Library. Those are paid, and I can buy models because I also sell models. So the issue is that it would require me to show my account, which I wouldn't want to do on live on the internet. Free car models model. Let me see. There is a car that I'm looking for that is very, very easy to use. Let's go on Sketchfab and see if we can get something there. This is also free, but it won't fit the scene, and it's quite heavy as well. I think these ones are all super heavy. Let's see this. Yeah, this is $59. Quite expensive, but it's a nice model. Yeah, I don't think I have any cars here. So let's just stick to making the scene a little bit better maybe. I think I'm just going to invert the normal map a bit and see. Model 1 right now. Yeah, modeling a car can take some time. Blender has free Infinix Q50X car. Where is that? So what do you guys think is missing here other than cars? Yeah, I think there's another thing I have here that could work. Blender kit. Amazing work. Thank you, Kapil Patel. Really appreciate it. Glad you like it. Looking moist. Looking moist. You mean like a bit with like it has rained inside here? I think the walls also, this wall is too clean for this parking lot. So let me use the quick deco add-on to add in some quick dirt. So I'm going to go to my resources, decos, and find some surfaces, some textures to make this look a bit old. So I can start with this, just add it onto here. Just going to rotate this 90. Yeah, so I want this to look a bit dirty. So this is a quick way to cheat, so that I don't have to spend too much time on this. I can just easily add some quick decos like that to make the wall a bit dirty. I think I can add a few extra advert billboards on the wall. Yes, I think I have a few of those under my quick asset library. I think I have I have a few. Yeah, I have. Let's first add in these how do they call it? These signs. And okay, so I think I have those under my furniture pack. Under my deco pack, I should have some billboards, some banners, so we can have one around there. I want this here. Origin to geometry. Just rotate this 180 degrees. So I think we can get a light around here. Did this. Maybe make this a different color. Something like that. Arrow signs. Yes, I kind of did one and then forgot about. We did an exit sign, and I think I forgot about others, but I think we can add a few here. So one of those ticket machines, that would take a while to make. How about a small checkpoint? Thanks RKSG for subscribing. Please don't add a light there, it makes it weird. Oh, you mean here? Okay. I just wanted to make sure this light shows, but that's okay. Can add some flying insect under the light. That would be amazing, but yeah, let's first set up the material, the scene, and we can work on the animation, because it would make things more complicated. Ticket machines. How about a small checkpoint? A small checkpoint around here. And a checkpoint wouldn't be that hard. I have what? They don't look that complicated. I think we can just do something like this. And I don't really remember how a checkpoint looks. We can use, oh yeah, the insects. You could use Ian Hubbard's tutorial. I think I could use that. We can add in some moth. But let's first work on the easier things. So this is where you get, I think, your ticket. Just going to make it very super simple. And I think it usually has a screen like there, and where you put your ticket. So something like that. Yellow gate checkpoint, it suits it. Okay, so this would be the ticketing area. I'm not sure what material to use. I think I can just use a plain material like this. Oh, actually this here has some nice material. I'm just going to get rid of all these. Yeah, this here. I'm just going to change the color to be white. So it's a bit dirty. Maybe let's use some box projection mapping, which doesn't seem to be. Okay. I think the bar, yellow gate, or the gate is just a simple. We can just use a simple cylinder like this. Rotate on the x-axis. It's usually something. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Don't know what language that is. So something like this. And I think we can use the deco designer. I'm not sure if I have any designs that would fit. There is this pattern that I usually that's usually on here. I think, let me first go to my add-on. I think this here, we can use it in here. So I'm just going to create a new material. Then import this as a texture. Just want to see if it's going to work. So I'm just going to first UV unwrap this, Control Maxim, select this, unwrap. Let me first go to the UV editor here. I think it's usually, let me see. Is it like this? I think it's usually something like this. Yeah, something like this. So we can use this as the base color. And I'm just going to grab a roughness map. Roughness as a grunge map. Where is this grunge? can just bring in this. Let me look at some reference images. Parking load ticket. Yeah, ticket machine. So it's usually multiple colors, I see. So we can also give it the same material here and see. Maybe just the screen can be a different, more reflective color. New assign. Let's make it a bit darker. Like that. I think we can add in a light in here, in there, an area light. Let's see. So I'm not sure if the exit sign would be facing this side, because then the cars would be, they wouldn't have a good way to park. So I'm just going to rotate this 180 degrees, then grab this. So that's our arrow. Let me see if we have other assets we can add in here. Let me see if we go to medieval. There isn't really anything here. Decos have been here. City Park, we have some wires, we have this. And I can also just bring in this kind of actually now. Looking for things to add in here. Let's see if I duplicate this entire setup. Hopefully it's not too heavy. Alt D. Just extend this volume and get the camera, change the clipping to something like 200. So we extend the length of the camera, and for the volumetric, let's try to give it some emission strength. Make it kind of foggy like that, but I think that's a bit too much. So if we get rid of the volumetrics, not too bad. give this slight camera movement. Yeah, so I think this is it for this video or for this live stream. Yeah. Do you guys have any other ideas we can add in here? Because I think I'm getting exhausted most of my ideas. You're welcome, Chidom. Really appreciate it for you being here again. Moth. Yeah, we can add moth, but I don't think my computer can really handle this amount of lighting and animation. It's just going to hang. Okay, let's add in moth if that's what you want, because I think it might also look super interesting. So for the moth, we're just going to start with a simple cube where we want the moth to be. So somewhere here, I'm just going to get rid of these keyframes. So let's say we want the moth to be around this area. Do it the Ian Hubbard way. Yeah, I don't really recall the Ian Hubbard way, but I think he used the let me see. He used the voids, which I'm also going to be using. So we have a volume here. So if I hit play, you can see they're all falling down. And let me first go back to the instancing here and make sure that I don't render the instancer. Hey, how's Morocco? Thank you, Fauz, Harry. So, yeah, and if you guys can leave a like in the chat, that would be amazing. Like throw in a like there. It really supports the channel. So we want to create some moth. We can go to the physics, turn on some Brownian motion. Actually, is it a Brownian? Actually, it's not Brownian motion. We just go to the physics type and turn this to voids. Things are moving slow, so we just have to go to the movement, increase the airspeed a bit. Let's try minimum airspeed. I can see how things are moving, and if we go to the source, I want this to change from faces to volume, like that. Go to the physics again. You can play around with a few settings here. Person space. They seem to be following something, and let's go to the behavior or relationship, and or the Boyd's brain. Let's try to add another. Let's see. There is flight is already there. Flock is already there. I'm wondering why they are following a different path, or why they're going this side. I want them to have some random movement. You can a few settings I can play with here to give them a more random. So this is just fuzzy movement, random movement. Let's go in the air. remove those functions and add a single function to love the light. To love the light. Oh, you mean that so that they only follow the light? So you want them to follow the light. So this is follow the leader, and you want the leader to be the point light. Say something here, and they will just rotate around that point light. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. I think I need to make this a bit smaller. Yes, have this around here. I think they are following this light. So I guess I can have this closer to the light, like that. Actually looks amazing, looks interesting. All we have to do then is just create a simple bug, and there are several ways to do this, but one way is to just create a simple shape like this, and give it some shape keys. So where are the shape keys? And just drag this down so we can animate this value here. So it goes up and down like that. And if we animate this, we can animate this and go to the graph editor. In the keys, we can add, in the modifiers, we can add some noise modifier. So we have that kind of a butterfly effect, increase the strength. So we have something like that, increase the scale. Let's see what we have. Increase the scale. Actually it should be, let's see. Let's add multiply, replace. We have to play with these values a bit to get what we want. Let's play with the phase. And see. If I bring the scale down, bring the scale up. So the maximum value we can hit is 1, but I want it to be something like 5. And actually, let me first go back to this, pull this back down, go to the basis and have this up like this. Let's look at the values we are playing around with. The strength. Can have really high values. Maybe play with this stroke here. We want the max value can be something like 10. Okay, this is not really flying the way I want. So instead of using shape keys, let's just use a hook like this. And then you can animate this going up and down. It will give us a better control for this. So I'm just going to animate this instead of animating the shape keys directly for easier control. So I'm just going to add a keyframe here, and then go to the Z property, Z location of this, add a noise modifier, and I see what we're getting. So I can increase the scale to something like 10 or 50. Actually, sorry, this scale to 10, and then the strength up like that, and maybe this can be set to something like 10 or 5. Now we have that motion. Let's say 4. So we get, and if you want the butterfly to kind of flap its wings much faster, just have to increase the scale here, something like that. And then in the render settings for these particles, we can just go set strength to 5, scale to 5. Saying set strength to 5, scale to 5. Okay, that's not too bad as well. It works too. So we can go to the render settings. So you guys seem to know your way around Blender. You should be teaching me instead of me showing you what to do. Or you're just here spending some time. You're not really trying to learn, you're just trying to spend some time on the internet, because you guys seem to know what you're doing. Yeah, so we have our buds. Sorry, our whatever these are. Yeah, I think it was a nice idea to have them here. I think I can duplicate these around. Now they'll just try to flock to these here, but I think let's see if I can have them as, so where I want them, I can just duplicate that, this volume. Let me see if I can have them. Let me first duplicate this instance. Actually, no, this is not what I want. In the physics, I just spent too much time in Blender. Like me, man. I also spend a lot of time in Blender. So I also we want them, instead of following the random area light, let's see if they can follow the cube itself. They seem to be following the other guy. Yeah, so if you don't have a follow leader, they just flock the center there. Can even make a wider volume to have more. And I think I can hide this one here into a backup collection, BK outliner. So for some reason the cache is only baking about 60 frames, so let's investigate that. So under cache, okay, it seems we are baking only up to 60 frames, so let's bake everything. And we would have something like that. Then we can add in our camera motion moving forward. So let's just grab this. GG. Hey GG, done with the scene now. Thank you, sir. It was a team effort. You guys really did help a lot. I think the other thing, we can add in some more interesting things. I can add in, say, an emissive. Let's try to add some point of interest here. Oh man, my PC bakes it really slow. Sometimes I feel I should bake some cookies by now. Maybe you're using really a lot of particles, a lot of particles. Is it so, or is your PC just too slow? I mean, I'm trying to add in some other point of interest here, so let's try to add in a shader emission. Just trying to add in some point of interest to the scene. Yeah, actually both. I sometimes add too many particles and my PC is also slow. I think it's a combination of both. Yeah, you sometimes have to limit the amount of particles you want to use, otherwise then yeah, you would run into that issue. Where is the smoke seam and fluid seam? Yeah, with this PC, that's not something I can do. It would probably explode in my face. And we can play with some color in the... Let's try to... in the color management. Make it heavier is fine. Please admit for changing the... What is FOV? Fog? Focal length. Do you mean focal length of the camera? Or you mean a field of view? Oh, okay. So this here, let's see. If we start off at that focal length and then at around here, make it 16K on 16 is fine. You mean the particle systems? That would be too much. So since this is moving forward, I can start with a very long focal length like this, and maybe it facing the... Are you gonna put the file in the description? Yes, I think I will, but I don't right away because I would have to first upload it, and then yeah, then we can have this at 25. I also want it to be focused on the camera, on the triangle. And because you like the textures, thank you. I think I can have it up after a few hours later. 75. So it starts. Yes. Then we go to 25. So we kind of get that distortion, camera distortion. Is that what you meant by animating the focal length? You would have to do a lot of experimenting to pull it off. So yeah, and first get back here. There's the focal length. Yeah, you need to do a lot of experimenting to pull it off. When you reach close to it, dramatically change the focal length. Oh, so around here. So that means at around here we can pull back quite significantly. Okay, let's try that and see. So it looks like the world around you is wrapping. Okay, let's try and see. Okay, so I think, yeah, you have to do a lot of trials to pull it off. I think I also need a wall on this other side to kind of exaggerate the effect a bit. Maybe pull it. I think this has to be a vector to yeah, I think it's a nice effect. We just have to spend a little bit more time on it to get it where we need it. Basically instant zoom. So I mean, if we pulled the focal length around here, I see. Yeah, you have to do a lot of experimenting to get it to work. Zoom in for 7 frames. I see. It is not better to change the direction of the focal length. This is just kind of an animation effect from the zoom to zoom. From 1 to 70 constant zoom, and then 70 to 95 pull back. Okay, let's see. From here, from 1 to 70 constant zoom, a constant focal length. Then 70 to 95 pull back. Let's see. Like that. Yeah, it looks nice, but I would need some experimenting, more experimenting. Trying to play with different effects to make this more interesting, a more interesting animation. This one looks like I am high. Yeah. It's just play more with the camera and get something cool. It's like a drone racing thing. Yeah, so this is like drone racing, and I think it looks cool. So yeah, that's what we have managed to do today. Maybe let me play with the volumetric fog just one more time. Let's see if I give it a different color. Actually, the greenish look looked better. Any good resources to learn shading from zero? Yeah, most resources are going to be on YouTube. But the problem with YouTube is not really very well structured. So maybe Udemy. But then Udemy, maybe because if you want to learn from step by step, Udemy might be a good place because they break down everything quite to a very basic level. So there's usually a lot of explaining on Udemy, but sometimes that's not a good thing, especially if you have some knowledge on Blender. Let me see if I duplicate this a few times. Didn't come out as I expected. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for guys. Thank you for coming around and supporting the channel. If you want to leave a like, that would be amazing. But that is what we have done today. I think we did some nice texturing and we got the scene where we wanted it to be. Now this is our parking lot. We have our mouth there. Yes. I'll see you in the next live stream. I'm not sure when, maybe tomorrow. But for now, thank you. Really appreciate you.